So this one time at band camp, I'm joking, it wasn't band camp, it was prison. Yeah. So I was working on Perimeter Road at our work camp, which is just a road that goes around the perimeter of the institution and you drive a truck around it, making sure no one's getting out or getting in. Animals would try to get in. We had to watch for them too. Anyways, I was driving around Perimeter Road and then all of a sudden I come up on our sewage treatment plant and I notice that there's bubbles coming out of the sewage treatment plant. So I stop my truck and I'm looking at it going, well, that's not right. That's a little unusual. So I call it in on the radio to the control room saying, hey, Post 6, Station 5, be advised. There are a lot of bubbles coming out of the sewage treatment plant. You might want to send someone down to check it out. So they advised that our sewage treatment plant inmates were going to be going down to check it out. By this time, the bubbles were overflowing out of the sewage treatment plant and crawling up the grass towards Perimeter Road. Yeah. And by the way, they weren't just plain bubbles, they were poo bubbles, which made it disgusting. So we're sitting there going around, and the inmates come up and said, there's nothing we can do. We don't know how to do it besides just let the bubbles do their thing. So I call it into the lieutenant. Lieutenant says, come get me. So I pull up to the front of the institution, pick him up, and then we go back over to the sewage treatment plant. Now the bubbles are going over Perimeter Road. So we have to drive through them to get to the sewage treatment plant. It was disgusting. So the lieutenant's like, what's going on? Where did this happen? Someone flushed something down the toilets? This isn't right. Take me over by the JIT camp. Now a JIT camp, JIT stands for jitterbug. It's our term that we use for juvenile inmates. And there was a juvenile inmate facility right next door to the work camp. So we go driving over by the JIT camp and we notice the JITs are running wild. They are all over the place. They are on the rooftops of buildings. They are going nuts. So my lieutenant calls over to the juvenile facility and come to find out the inmates were going nuts. They were getting it under control, but they had flushed copious amounts of laundry detergent down the toilets, and that's where all the bubbles were coming from. It was like a really poopy foam party at the prison that night. It was so disgusting, and our poor sewage treatment plant inmates had to sit there and deal with it. They were trying to sweep up the bubbles off the road and trying to do whatever they could to get the bubbles to go away. It was so gross, but that is a memory I will never forget. Driving around Perimeter Road and seeing just copious amounts of poo bubbles everywhere. It was disgusting.